I'd like to say shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Shemel Shah. Let's give a double honors to the elders of GMS and honors to the Akim, and peace and blessings to the brothers and sisters that listen to Hopeful Elect. And I'd like to do a quick lesson today on desiring the sincere milk to grow. Was teaching a brother the other day the importance of knowing the basic scriptures, man, the fundamental scriptures. You can't give a baby steak. You have to give it milk, man. All right, and that's how you grow in this thing. I remember Bruce Lee even said that, man. I don't fear the man who practiced 10,000 kicks once, but he feared the man who practiced one kick 10,000 times, man. All right, that's the importance of this truth, man. Is mastering the basics. Okay, the primary scriptures when you first come in. Such as your nationality, who the Israelites are, the name of the Most High. The Most High only loves Israel. Yahweh Shai came for the Israelites. Who the Gentiles are that receive salvation. These are the basic scriptures, man, that you learn when you first come in. The history, the commandments, things of that nature. All right. We start with the first precepts. Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9. It says, "Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast." So scripture gave an analogy, man. Okay, the milk is what? This book, man, and drawn from the breast, man. Okay, that's how you learn knowledge, man. But you gotta first. That's why it said precept must be upon precept, and precept upon precept, line upon line. Here a little and there a little. And that's how we break down the scriptures. We link precept with precept. That's why the publishers give you reference scriptures underneath the Bible that you read it. But the scripture says you have to be weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. Because when you come into this thing, you're a newborn babe. So you have to suck in all that knowledge, man. Okay? That's what Yahweh Shai said. Disciples asked, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And he brought a little child, man. Okay, so we're all children in this thing, man. And, brothers came up on a level real fast because we're in the last hour. You see, so the Most High poured out His Spirit heavily, man. But as you know, it's very, very important to bring out the basics, man, because a lot of jakes is coming into this thing. All right, read the next precept, 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 12. So we got to revisit these things again. All right, it may seem tiresome, but a lot of Israel, don't know a lot of things, man. They still stuck on that white Jesus. That's another basic thing you learn when you first come in. Who that image is, when it was put up, why it was put up. During the Renaissance, Cesare Borgia, those are basic things. Read 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 12. Not 1 verse 12, no, it's Slakia. Read 1 Peter chapter 1, let me see. See, 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 2, it says, start from 1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings. All right. So you're not supposed to have any guile, deceit in our mouth, man, or be a hypocrite. All right. An actor. All right. You ain't supposed to envy other brothers in evil speakings, man. The chief evil speakings is false doctrine. All right. As newborn babes, desire the sincere milk. So we just read in Isaiah 28 and 9. Those that are drawn from the milk, man. Desire the sincere milk of the word that ye may grow thereby. And that's how we grew. Okay, it's by mastering those basics and applying it. Okay. Or what we call the fundamental scriptures, the principal scriptures, man. As newborn babes, especially brothers that's coming into this thing, man, master those basics, man. And then you can move on to mid-level breakdowns like the virgin birth and, the advanced breakdowns, Revelation 12, Daniel 11. Those are the advanced scriptures, man. Where the scripture says, as newborn babes are desired of sincere milk. All right. And to prove that, also another precept that the milk is the word, Isaiah 55:1. Because we read in Isaiah 28:10, precept has to be upon precept. Okay, that's another basic understanding of breaking down the Bible. Can I read it like it's a Havikan novel? Right? It's not written that way, man. It's written as a puzzle for a reason, because it's only given to the elect. Isaiah 55:1. Oh, everyone that thirsted, come ye to the waters, which is the scriptures. Okay, the living water, like Yahweh Shai said. And he that hath no money, come ye buy and eat. Come buy wine and milk without money and without price. So the scriptures is known as water, is known as wine. That's what the Lord said you can't put new wine in old bottles. And it's also known as milk. Okay? That's what the scriptures is known as, man. So we gotta be drawn from the milk, man. Learn, master the fundamental and the principal scriptures, man. And for brothers who know it, you got to study these things again. Sometimes you may forget. And we got to bring out those scriptures again, man. All right. Because like I said, a lot of Jakes is now coming into this thing. So we got to revisit the basics again, man. So I can't see Satan acting up. All right. We'll pull the next precept. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 16. It says, hast thou found honey? Eat so much as is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomit it. What's this honey? Before I break that down, Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 1. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat thou findest, eat this roll, the scriptures. Okay. Back then it was on stone, then it was later on in scrolls, and then later on they put it in a book. So eat this roll, this book, and go speak unto the house of Israel, which is what we do. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat the roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll. That's what the scripture says, buy the truth and sell it not. Get fully into it. That's what it means he ate the roll. You got to study to show thyself approved, learn the scriptures, and then you go out there and teach. And I gave in. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. So that honey is what? The roll, the book. All right, so let me read Proverbs 25:16 again. Proverbs 25, verse 16. Hast thou found honey, which is this knowledge? Eat so much as is sufficient for thee. So you have to eat what's sufficient for you. Okay, every man is not have the same level of understanding. Okay, certain things the spirit may bring out. Okay. For thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomit it. So if you try to take in too much all at once, you're going to end up vomiting. That's how dudes come up with all these false doctrines and the flat earth and things that's not in the Bible, man. All right, because they didn't eat enough honey that was sufficient. They ate too much. Okay, and they got bugged out. All right, they didn't process the knowledge, man. Okay, they try to come up on a high level too quickly, man. And what happened? They end up burning out. So you got to eat what's sufficient for you. Okay, you don't understand something, don't force the course of the river, like it says in the Apocrypha, man. Pray on it, and then the Most High later on will open up your understanding. Because there were certain things the disciples didn't understand. And the Lord had to keep reiterating certain things, and then they finally got it. Okay? So everything takes time, man. I mean, we at the end now, But, the Most High will get you to that level, man, if it's His will. But you gotta start from the basics first. And like the scripture says, eat what's sufficient for you. Okay, and remember that we still newborn babes in this thing, man. All right? Because I remember Paul even said this about the church of Corinth. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 2. It says, I fed you with milk, which is the basics, and not with meat. For hitherto you were not able to bear it, neither yet now are ye able. So Paul told the church of Corinth, I fed you guys with milk, not with meat. Because I fed you guys with meat, or the deep understanding of the scriptures, y'all guys won't be able to bear it. Okay, it's not going to be sufficient for you, man. It's not going to edify you, man. All right, so Paul said, I kept certain things back from you guys, man. And it's the same thing now, man. Certain topics the elders may not go into because certain brothers may not digest it, man. Okay? Or even when we go out on the highways and hedges, certain topics you don't bring out. That's more for a sit down. All right? A personal sit down. Whatever the case is, So a brother that first come into this thing, we gonna teach him the basics, prophecy, who he is, who the Lord came for, this, that, and the third. And as he learn more and more and more and more, then he'll start keeping the commandments better, start rehearsing the righteous acts, the high holy days. Then he'll get a deeper understanding of the Hebrew and be able to go into the Greek. You see what I'm saying? That's when you start learning meat. Okay? Start learning the other deep breakdowns in the book of Ezra and Revelation and Daniel. Things of that nature. Alright? Let me read some other precepts. That's what scripture says this. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 21. So everything has to be for edifying, man. And that's one of the key tools, essential tools on being a good teacher. Okay? Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 21. It says, seek not out things that are too hard for thee. Like we read earlier with the honey. Neither search the things that are above thy strength. So the scripture tells you, do not search out things that are too hard for you, man. Neither search the things that are above thy strength, man. Don't go way and beyond, man. Okay, it's okay if you don't get certain things now, man. Especially if you just came in, man. Just master the basics, man. Grasp the basics, man. Overstand the basics, man. And as you learn, the Most High will open up your understanding more and more, man. The key is patience, man. Don't search out things above your strength. Okay, trying to get too deep. Alright? Because you end up bugging out. You end up vomiting. Okay? All what you learn is going to be no longer good for you. It's no longer profitable, man. And that's why everything has to be for the sake of... Let me read this precept, Ephesians chapter 4. I think I may close it out on that. So that's a key scripture right there. And we've seen that happen before. Alright? Searching out things that are above your strength. Above all, just stick to the scriptures, man. Alright? Because anything outside of that, then you speculating. Okay? And that can lead others astray. So we're just staying according to the book. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 15. It says, let me start Ephesians chapter 2 verse Ephesians 4 and 12. For by the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Yahushua Mashiach. Everything is about edifying. All right? Edifying the body, man. Feeding the sheep, feeding the lambs. All right? And this whole lesson or topic is, feeding them, especially because the massive amount of Israelites coming in, feeding them with the milk, man. The basic scriptures, man. The fundamental scriptures that's key for your salvation. Right? Also, who Esau Edom is, man. You gotta know who your enemies are, man. Those are the basic scriptures, man. All right? So we all come into the unity of the faith, of the knowledge of the Son